Welcome to What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander. The crossroads where culture, lifestyle, and community meet, all hosted by the legendary New York radio TV personality and proud Harlem American, G. Keith Alexander.
Oh, thank you so very much, Kevin. Hi, I am G. Keith Alexander, and welcome to What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander. And today is a very special day. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving and enjoyed yourself and you're staying safe and well. And normally I would read the bio of my guest. However, this particular guest is someone that, he has been in our lives for many years via film and now currently television. And he's a great actor. He's an icon, part of our culture. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to welcome Mr. Richard Roundtree. Hello there, Richard.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm listening to your radio voice.
Wow. It is. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm good.
This is a real treat to have you on. Last night, was quite a night for me to really get excited that today was going to be the day. So let us start out. First of all, did you have a happy Thanksgiving?
I had a boring Thanksgiving.
Really?
Fortunately.
Well, I can understand.
I didn't have family here at all. It was just me, the television, and my brown water.
All right. And brown water, for those who don't know brown water, tell them what the brown water is.
Bourbon.
Okay. Bourbon is your drink of choice. And also you have a special cigar that you're really into, and it's the longest cigar I've ever seen in my life. Wow. So
ever ready.
Right on. So we're on Facebook as well. I want to say hello to those folks watching on Facebook. Thank you so very, very much for tuning in.
Hello, Facebook family.
That's right. They're with us. So let us take the Wayback Machine. Let's take the Wayback Machine and let's go back to, what was your childhood like in New Rochelle?
Wow. Very sheltered. And I didn't realize that until I was grown. My parents kept a very tight rein on us, my sister and brother. And it wasn't until very recently that I found out that New Rochelle opposed busing, and Lincoln School was primarily Black, and they closed that school down. I just found this out not too long ago. Mm-hmm. And that was the level of which my parents sheltered us. We didn't know anything about that. And I remember Martin Luther King came to Union Baptist Church and spoke. I had no idea what that was all about. I knew he was a dynamic speaker, but the scope of who Martin Luther King was, I had no idea until later on.
Really? Wow. So when you eventually got out of New Rochelle, at least when I say got out of New Rochelle, meaning that you became a model, but I think prior to that, you started working at Barney's. And those folks who aren't familiar with Barney's here in New York, Barney was an upscale clothier where folks went and paid a lot of money for clothes. What did you do at Barney?
I was a salesman. I went from Robert Hall in Yonkers and got a job at Barney's, and some very famous people would come in, and actors and models and what have you. And Tom Scott, wow. he was one of my customers, and he said, you know, you should model. And I immediately asked him, what does it pay? Back then, it was $40 an hour.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But he failed to tell me that wasn't a 40-hour week.
You just work a couple of days for $40 an hour.
Yeah, if that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
A couple of days. I mean, it was hit and miss. And I was running around with my portfolio, going to go-sees and the like. And my agent told me that Ebony Magazine is interviewing for models. And I auditioned with Mrs. Johnson. And she asked me, have you ever done runway? I said, oh, of course I've done runway.
Fake it till you make it.
Hey, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And what happened was we went to Chicago and we had a dress rehearsal in Gary, Indiana. And I watched the girls go out and do their thing. And I said, oh, I could do that, but I have to do a variation on it. I can't do exactly what they're doing.
Right.
And I went out and the place went crazy. And I'll tell you, Keith, going around the country after doing promos for Shaft, and women would say, I know you did Shaft, but I remember you from the Ebony Fashion Fair.
Right. The Fashion Fair models.
Yeah.
Wow. So, all right. So you did the Ebony Fashion Fair, and then how did your role in Shaft come about?
Well, let's back up a bit.
Okay.
When we landed in LA at the end of the tour, Bill Cosby threw a party for the Ebony Fashion Fair models. Mm-hmm. And during the course of the evening, we got to talking. And he said, so what are you going to do now? I said, I'm going to be an actor. And he said to me, he said, well, listen, do yourself a favor. Go back and study and learn your craft.
Good advice.
And I said, yes. Given the fact that he was on I Spy at the time, big star.
Yeah.
I said, he must know what he's talking about. So I went back to New York and I auditioned and got into Negro Ensemble Company.
Fantastic company. For those folks who don't know, a lot of great actors came out of Negro Ensemble Company.
Oh, well, from there, who ran it was Robert Hooks.
Yes.
To name just a few, he was the founder of NEC, and Denise Nichols. The list goes on. But I would watch them perform before I ever got into the repertoire, the company. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know, these are pros. These are pros. And I got to play in one play, Man Better Man, I think it was. And I only had one line. And it was a 3-hour play. I mean, and one night, Esther Roll, I'll never forget her. She
from Good Times.
Yes. I was sitting next to her on the bench, and all I had to say was yes.
That's all.
And that was my line. And this one night, I was zoned out, and she elbowed me. Yes. She never let me forget that. Every time I would see Esther, she.
You're gonna blow your one line. Wow. Well, speaking of one lines, I had in the movie The Intern with Robert De Niro, they hired me to be a character named Victor, and I had one line. And so I did the line as we were filming, and then I'm so proud of myself. And then I go to the premiere, the screening of the movie, and I take my son with me, and here I am, bigger than day on the screen, and I'm waiting for my appearance and my one line, and they cut my line out. I'm still in the movie, but they cut my line out.
Wow. Show business.
Yeah, show business. Wow. So, all right. So now with NEC, is that prior to you getting the audition for Shaft? How did that come about?
No, I was doing a Great White Hope in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And during the day, I would come up to Manhattan trying to get modeling and commercials and whatnot. And my then agent said that MGM is in town and they're auditioning for this movie, and you ought to go by and leave your picture and resume. My long resume. And I did, and forgot about it. And a couple of days later, I get a call to come and meet the casting director.
Mm-hmm.
And I did, and she said, "You're going to set up a meeting with the director, who is Mr. Gordon Parks."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know Gordon Parks, but I went to rival high school with
Mm-hmm.
David Parks. I got an in.
Wait a minute, you actually thought that they knew each other, that they were related or something?
No, that's his son.
Oh, really? Oh.
David Parks. Yeah, that's his son.
Oh, okay.
One of two sons. His oldest son died in a plane crash in Africa. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I didn't know that.
Anyway, I get this meeting with Mr. Parks, and sitting there, and he's interviewing me, and he's saying, we're looking for someone like that. And he points to a picture, an ad. I said,
Mm-hmm.
That's me. He said, Well, Mr. Parks, I'm a friend of your son, David. That was it. Anyway, the meeting is over, and I go home, and I tried to forget about it, mm-hmm. thinking that I made some impression on him. And I get a call saying, you're going to have a screen test. Oh, screen test. What the heck is that? I learn the lines. I go in for the screen test, and someone was auditioning in the room with him, and the guy who auditioned comes out, and it was a guy, No Place to Be Somebody. His name escapes me right now. Mm-hmm. And I see him, I said, oh, well, there's no way I'm gonna get this role. He is auditioning. He leaves, I go in, and I'm doing my stuff. And I'm sitting there smoking a cigarette. Too cool for school, right? Cut. And the script supervisor mm-hmm. comes over and said, well, you inhaled on this and you put your cigarette to your lips. And I said, why are you telling me that? He said, well, you got to repeat this from the master who's coming in for your close-up. I said, what?
So you actually learning on the job now. Okay.
Yeah, no. This is it's a screen test.
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay.
Which I had no idea was what that whole process was. You know, what little stage I had done, no one was a script supervisor is telling me what I did in any given instant.
Right.
So Dissolve come up again. I'm done with the screen test, and I'm on 63rd and 3rd hangout we had.
Yellow Fingers.
And I go to check in see my messages, and I hear that you have to call Mr. Gordon Parks. I said, wow. I get on the phone and I call him. Mr. Parks, this is Richard Roundtree, and he said, yes. So it looks like you got the part. I can't tell you what a shock that was. And I said, you know, and he goes on saying that, you know, you can't tell anybody about this yet because the holiday season will get blown away because we're going to wait till after the Christmas and announce it. I said, well, can I tell my parents? You know, oh, of course you can tell your parents, but you know, don't blast it all over until we announce. And I'm sitting in that phone booth. What?
Can't believe it.
Can't believe it. After that, my life goes on, but I'm running into my fellow actors and models and whatnot. And a couple of them tell me that, you know, I think I got that role in Shaft. Hear this a couple of times. And you start, did that really happen? Or is it an imagination, you know?
Well, I tell you what, we've got 2 minutes. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in depth to the Shaft role when we come back. But before we go, I just want to let people know a little Black history fact here. For those who might not know, Gordon Parks was an American photographer, musician, writer, and film director who became prominent in the U.S. documentary photojournalism in the 1940s through the 1970s, particularly in issues of civil rights, poverty, and African Americans, and in glamour photography. I got that from Wikipedia. So we're going to take a little break right now, and we'll be back with our acting icon, Mr. Richard Roundtree. And I'm sure you've been watching him in Family Reunion with Loretta Devine. And we'll have more to talk about that in just a little bit. So I'm G. Keith Alexander. Welcome to the neighborhood, Harlem, America. We'll be right back.
Tune in every Friday to get your weekend kickoff early. Join the legendary G. Keith Alexander for What's Hot Harlem America. The flagship show of the new Harlem America Digital Network has something for everyone. From the latest in entertainment to empowerment, health and wellness, and more, we'll bring you a variety of fresh viewpoints, voices, and ideas. What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander can be heard every Friday at 1 p.m. in New York and 10 a.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Variety Channel.
All right, so we're back with Richard Roundtree. And Richard, tell me, when it comes to Shaft, what was it like trying to get into that character? You know, you had to play a tough detective, and you're in Harlem. The whole thing sort of takes place in Harlem. And what was it like getting into that character?
I have to tell you that what I discovered later on, many years after, that character was Gordon Parks.
Mm.
There's a scene in there when I'm going from door to door trying to locate someone, and he answers the door. And that was his Hitchcock moment.
Oh, okay.
But his whole persona
Mm-hmm.
was who he wanted me to be.
I see.
And that opening scene in the first shaft and coming out of the subway.
Great scene, great scene.
He pulled me aside and said, listen, we have a camera up there, and a camera up there. When you come out of that subway and you walk across that street, I want you to own it.
And you did.
Okay. And when a cabbie blasted his horn, and I turned to the camera and said, I was all improv.
Really? Wow.
And back then, they didn't have traffic controllers.
Mm-hmm.
That traffic was real.
Wow. And you had to negotiate yourself across the street there.
Yeah.
This bad brother comes up out of the subway with a leather jacket on. I mean, you had this leather coat on, you had the big, thick mustache, you had the hair just right. I mean, we were all so proud of you. I mean, because this is the first time that we've actually seen a real African-American star action hero on screen. Now, well, I should say starring in it, because there was a Woody Strode years ago, but Woody Strode played those roles, but he wasn't the actual star that we actually could identify with as we did with you.
An aside, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
the night of the premiere, which is unbelievable night. I have my mother, my grandmother, and my sister with the Klieg lights and all the paparazzi out there. And, we go into the theater and we go and sit down, and the movie starts. And I'm coming out of the subway, and the crowd is cheering. And the first fight scene, and my grandmother stands up, "Don't you be hitting my boy." Unbelievable. Oh. The place just cracked up. I mean, really? But if you could imagine what that night was, with all of the press and the lights and it was a big night.
Big night.
And to see myself on the screen like that, that was incredible.
Well, okay, so now you've done 5 Shaft movies. What has it been like to live with that Shaft moniker? How has that has it worked in your benefit? Has it hurt you? Have you sometimes wished that you didn't have to live with being Shaft?
All the above. It has pigeonholed me to some degree. Up till maybe 10 years ago, when I would go and audition for different roles, if Shaft was coming in the room. Mm. No, wait. I'm here for this role. If you can, wipe that away, oh yeah, of course. But it is sometimes a burden. I was having a discussion with my dad years ago when he's out here visiting me, and I was complaining to him, I'm tired of constantly being Shaft. Everywhere I go with Shaft. I mean, it gets me great tables at a restaurant, but I want to be known as an actor. An actor.
Actor, yes.
Yes. And my dad says, son, let me tell you something. A lot of people leave this earth not being known for nothing. Shut up. Got it, Dad. Got it.
That made it very clear to you then.
I tried to reflect back to that conversation at times. The reality of the situation, I'm blessed, as he would say. You know.
Yes. Well, you know, I concur with your dad because I tell people all the time that I am truly blessed because there are people who walk this earth and you never know they ever existed. And I'm very blessed that people acknowledge me, that people have, you know, said nice things, told me that maybe I've influenced them and so forth and so on. So I'm very happy with being G. Keith Alexander.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll tell you a little story. Which reminded me, what you're saying reminded me of, I guess I was going to Atlanta at one point at LAX, and I'm going through, and I noticed one of the officers staring at me, and then, oh, what's that about? And he's going to come up and say, Shaft, and he came over to me as I went through the line. He said, Mr. Roundtree, I want to tell you something. As a kid in the segregated theater in Mississippi, or Southern City, I can't remember what city, state it was. I was in the balcony and saw the Shaft movie. And that is what prompted me to get an education. That I want to be somebody.
Wow.
I said, wow, I got chills, you know.
Wow.
So it's rewarding at times. Most of the times it's rewarding, and I'm grateful for that I had touched someone on any level, you know.
Yes.
And which mirrors what you were saying, you know.
Yes. Well, you know, do you remember when you and I first met?
I can't honestly say that I do. I don't.
Okay. Well, okay. All right. I have to tell you, I was walking the up Columbus Avenue one day, and I just got out of my car. And for those people who are familiar with New York City, there used to be a club called The Cellar, where everybody used to go. Phyllis Hyman was discovered there, and Raw Sugar, and a whole bunch of folks came through The Cellar. And I was on my way to The Cellar, and I run into these people. I think it was two or three people, and they said, "Hey, G. Keith, where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to The Cellar." And they said, "Well, hey, why don't you come go with us? We're going to Richard Roundtree's house." Now, I had just seen Shaft not so long before that, and I'm like, going to see Shaft. Wow. Okay, so I go along with them to your house. You're very personable and very welcoming. And I go there, and I can't believe that I'm sitting there with you guys. Of course, you offered me something to drink, and I had something to drink, and I got a little tipsy, so I decided to leave. But that was the first time we met, and then I ended up moving onto the same block you lived on 90th Street between Columbus Yeah, between Columbus and Central Park West, and we became friends. And I remember when you got ready to go to do the second shaft, you had Tony King, who's now Malik Farrakhan, a good friend of yours, and he was a friend of mine. You had him pick up this 6-foot tall palm tree that was in a big metal. The circumference of this thing had to be huge. He brought it across the street, and he said to me, Richard is leaving, and Richard wanted me to give this to you as a going away present, his going away present. I said, wow, Richard Roundtree is giving me this big palm tree. Man, let me tell you, I watered that palm tree, and I carried that palm tree to about 3 different apartments I had until it finally died. Okay, but you stayed with me.
Wow.
you stayed with me,
Wow.
and so that was when you went to go make the second shaft. Now, the second shaft, I see the poster behind you. The name of the second shaft was what?
Shaft's Big Score.
Okay, Shaft's Big Score. All right. Now, when you got the call to go to do Shaft's Big Score, what was that experience about? Now you did Shaft. Folks know you're a Shaft. Now you're going to walk into this second Shaft movie. Your confidence is up. Your acting skills are sharp now. What was that about?
By that time, I was full of myself. Full of myself. Uh-huh. And word on the street was, you got to get paid this time. Now, my original contract was with 12 pictures. 12
pictures? They were going to do 12 Shaft movies?
Yeah, that's the MGM contract was for 12 films, wow. Not necessarily all Shaft.
Oh, okay, got you.
And I'm so full of myself. I'm saying, I'm not going to do it unless they pay me some bucks. And to Gordon's credit, he called me up and said, listen, I hear that you wanting to get more money this time. He said, don't be talking in the street like that. You got to wait till you have some FU money.
some FU money. Okay, okay.
He negotiated and got them to pay me much more money for the second Shaft.
Okay, it was like 4 times more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And today's, even looking back at that money, that peanuts.
Yeah.
But it was way more than I was paid for the first film, and I was happy with that. That's again Gordon Parks. I mean, he is the one that insisted. They didn't want me to have a mustache.
Really?
At all. And Gordon insisted. And when I said earlier that the character was Gordon Parks, I mean, the first thing you notice about Gordon is that big mustache.
Exactly, yeah. Well, that's sort of like Ian Fleming wrote James Bond, but he put himself in that James Bond character was really Ian Fleming putting himself in there.
Exactly.
Well, now what people don't know, okay, so they paid you this paltry sum of money compared to today's salaries, but what some folks may not know, and I want them to know this, that you, Richard Roundtree, and Shaft saved MGM. Tell us about that.
Well, I've always heard that, and I don't know to what degree that is totally true. I don't know. And I can't really speak on that. I do know that the studio was sinking mm-hmm. and how much of a savior the Shaft films were, I have no way of knowing. But that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah, well, that's what the story that we got years ago that MGM was sinking. They were in financial troubles, and then this Shaft movie comes along, and they suddenly now they've got this new influx of cash coming in, and it saved MGM.
Yeah. There was an influx of Black movies that was driven by the success of Shaft.
So, all right, you've played detectives, and you've played the father in Being Mary Jane. You've played the father currently in Family Reunion. Is there another role that you'd like to be able to play? Is there another character that you'd like to be able to bring to the screen?
Well, I've always held a dream to play Jim Beckworth, who discovered Beckworth Pass in the High Sierras.
Never heard of him.
No, very few people have. He was a trapper, gunfighter, marksman. He was placed as the chief of I forgot what the name of the tribe was, the Indian tribe. An incredible life. Runaway slave.
Really?
Went out west. Became this guide, trapper, you name it. And a wagon train
master.
Sorry?
A wagon train master?
No. He came upon this wagon train coming out west. And he remembered a passage through the High Sierras into California. And he guided them through that. And the pass was named after him to this day. Beckworth Pass.
Beckworth Pass. Okay, let's leave it right there. We got less than a minute, and we'll come back to that. I just want to remind folks that this is What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander, and I want to say hello to those folks who are listening in Harlem as well as outside of Harlem, and the folks listening in other countries. I want to welcome you to Harlem America. Thanks for coming to the neighborhood, and don't forget to find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Subscribe, and we'll be right back in just a little bit with our icon of an actor, Mr. Robert. No, no, that's the other guy, Richard Roundtree. We'll be back with Richard Roundtree. I'm G. Keith Alexander.
Tune in every Friday to get your weekend kickoff early. Join the legendary G. Keith Alexander for What's Hot Harlem America. The flagship show of the new Harlem America Digital Network has something for everyone. From the latest in entertainment to empowerment, health and wellness, and more. We'll bring you a variety of fresh viewpoints, voices, and ideas. What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander can be heard every Friday at 1 p.m. in New York and 10 a.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Variety Channel.
Okay, we're here with Richard Roundtree. The guy Robert, I don't know where he went, but anyway, I want to ask you, Richard, about this. Now, years have gone by since the 3 Shaft movies. You've done other films and things, but then one day, I don't know whether it was a phone call or someone pulled you aside. Someone said, "Hey, we're doing another Shaft movie." Now, what was your first thought? Did you think, well, wait a minute, they want me to play Shaft again? And then when they then after you got over that, then they told you, well, no, we want Sam Jackson to be Shaft. What was your thoughts around that?
You got to be kidding me. What? That was a big disappointment. I didn't know Sam at the time, and I knew his work. I'm going to be his uncle. We're almost the same age. And I was happy and disappointed at the same time. I vacillated between those emotions. And we met, and I got a script. Well, okay. I'm going to be paid nicely. Okay, I'm going to make this work. And well, I won't go there. But we got on famously great, and I had a good time while filming it. And that was it.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, we happen to have a caller on the line who wants to say hello to you. So we're going to get back to that story. But right now, we have a caller on the line. Hello, caller.
Hey, how are you?
I'm okay. Thank you so very, very much. Now, Richard has no idea who this is. So
that sounds like Sherry Brewer.
No, not Sherry. And for those who don't know, Sherry Brewer played the young lady, Bumpy's daughter that you went to find in the movie Shaft. Okay, for those who don't know. But we happen to have on the line. Should I tell him your name, or would you like to give him, let him guess who you are?
Well, I'll make it very easy. I think Richard best photographers known. Undercover photographer, amazing photographer.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is Miss Regina Fleming. She's an amazing photographer, and she is a marathon runner. She runs all over the world, and I mean all over the world. If a guy cannot catch up with this woman, okay, I'm telling you. But but right now, Regina, thank you so very much for calling in to say hello to Richard.
Mojo.
Hey, Richard. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
It's been a great interview.
Thank you.
Gordon Parks played a big part in your life, and I always admired Gordon Parks. One of the reasons I became a photographer.
Wow. That is so good to hear your voice.
In fact,
yes.
Regina is shooting something now. Where are you now, Regina?
I'm in Harlem photographing a secret project.
Okay, and you stepped away from the secret project to just say hello to Richard
Just
and
to come
myself.
in and say hello to two of my favorite people. I couldn't miss this one.
Well, thank you so very, very much for calling in. And do you have any projects coming up soon that we should know about, or a marathon?
No, because of this COVID, the marathon season has been cut short. We're doing virtual marathons, which I've already ran for this year. But photography-wise, I am still photographing a lot of commission work with all of my wonderful clients who are trying to get their holiday work in, as well as some other projects.
Well, thank you for taking time out to call What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander and Richard Roundtree.
And getting your mileage in on your treadmill.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I would do that, Richard. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Have a
Be
great
safe.
day and a better one tomorrow.
Thank
Be
you.
safe. Okay. Bye-bye. Wow. So
That's
that's Regina. We both follow her on Facebook, and she's quite a woman, quite a photographer. So tell me the story about sitting in the makeup chair, and Sam is sitting on the chair getting his makeup, and you getting your hair. Tell me that story.
This was the last shaft. We were in Atlanta, and the makeup room was separated by a wall, and the hair department was next door. And I'm hearing this music, this rap music, and it's going on, and it's blasting. I said, who the hell did? And the hairdresser said, what? That's Sam's music. Now, obviously, I'm not a big fan of rap per se, but I was shocked that Sam was so into it. I mean, he big fan of rap.
Well, knowing Sam, was it laden with MFs this and MF that?
No. He owned that department.
Wow. So, all right. So now you're. Should we expect another Shaft movie?
I hope not.
Yep.
Did I say that out loud? I think we can put it away now.
You think so?
Yes. I think the audience for it has dwindled.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about being Mary Jane. Now, it just so happens that you were married to a woman named Mary Jane at one point, and then is that correct?
Yeah.
And then you went into years later, of course, doing Being Mary Jane with Gabrielle Union. What was that like?
Oh, she is a force. Not just beautiful, but incredibly talented. And she's got a mind on her. Whoa. And she's driven. And she can be funny. And she's a joy to be around. And I enjoyed, 4.5 years doing that show. And I had a great time. And great group of people. I only have positive feelings about that show, and I wish it had gone another fifth season.
She and I can understand what you're saying, because I watch her every week on LA Finest, and she is incredible.
Oh,
she Gabrielle, if you're listening, I'd love to have you on the show, please. Anytime. She is a fantastic actor, and she's tough. She beats up the guys and all that stuff on the show. So, and then now you're on. Tell us about Family Reunion with Loretta Devine.
Another force, Loretta Devine. I love her to pieces. Our son and his wife come to visit us in Savannah, Georgia, obviously, with their kids. And they wind up staying, living in our home. And all of the storylines revolve around the family and its issues with the kids going to school and coming to new city
Mm-hmm.
from, I think it was Minnesota, but a city up north to the south, and the adjustment they have to make.
1 sec. I found the answer. It's displayed on your iPhone.
You know, sometimes Alexa and also Siri will chime in from time to time, even though you're not talking to them.
Whoa, okay, that's a first. But it's I'm just finishing the script that we start on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
and it deals with my sister's son. He comes into the picture and he is gay.
Mm-hmm.
Unbeknownst to me, I'm a preacher.
Mm-hmm.
I should have prefaced it with it. And how the family dynamics work with the discovery that he has come out.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating story. And I don't want to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
I have not stood up to the promise I made his mother. I think I failed when he comes out. And the turnaround, and it is so what's happening today. It is brilliantly written. I'm going to enjoy this show.
Tell folks where they can find the show.
Oh, it's on Netflix. What was that? It's on Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
and Family Reunion, and it's streaming, I think. Not that I know what that term means.
You're hearing strange noises?
Yeah.
Facebook, he's hearing strange noises in his home. And of course, he wants to make sure that it's nothing that he needs to take care of right away.
No, that's got to be out on the street.
Oh, okay. Well, we've got about 3 minutes left. I want to say this to you. Here at Harlem America, we support small businesses. What is the name of your company? What is the name of your company?
My company?
Yes. Do you have a company, Inc. or LLC or anything?
Oh, around the tree.
Okay, all right. So since you don't have 500 people working for you, that's a small business. Okay. So here at Harlem America,
That's my loan out company. Yeah.
Yeah, we support small businesses. So your business has been selling your talent to various creators and producers and so forth and so on. So as the founder of Harlem America, with the power vested in me, which is close to nil, I proclaim you a VIP citizen of Harlem America with your own page on Harlem America and brand support. So whatever you're doing in the future, if you need to promote it or let folks know about it, you have your page in Harlem America that you can put it on, and we'll promote it for you. So because we support small businesses, and we want to be able to help wherever we can. And that's what Harlem America is all about.
Oh, man. All right.
Okay.
I love that. Thank you so
you're
much.
quite welcome. You're quite welcome. So when you go to harlemamerica.com in about Oh, let's see, maybe about 2 days, you'll see your page with this show on it. We've got 30 seconds left. I want to thank you so very, very much for being a part of Harlem America and coming to What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander. I want to thank everyone on Facebook for listening in. I hope you comment and like, and tell me who else you'd like to have interviewed on Harlem America. Thank you so very, very much. Have a great day and a better one tomorrow. Is there anything you'd like to say real quickly, Richard?
I want to thank you, G. Keith Alexander, for having me on. This has been a blast, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Don't judge your brother or sister too harshly until you walk a mile in his or her shoes or whatever they're wearing. Have a great day and a better one tomorrow. Bye-bye.